this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
And I am the reigning Reverse That Tune champion, James Jr.
You are.
I'm certainly not letting it go to my head.
No, you've got no reward yet, but you know, it may be something coming in the post. You never know. You never know. Well, he's good.
Yay.
He seems excited, so I better not let him down.
I like random stuff in the post. It's never dangerous.
Yeah, especially when it's from me. Oh, so
It's all right. I'll notice the childish scribbles in crayon when it comes in on the box.
I've got very lovely handwriting, I'll have you know.
You have actually. You have. I take it back. You sent me the lovely episode 300 T-shirt, and your handwriting is absolutely fab, considering what I've seen some people write with.
Yeah, namely doctors. Yeah, it's like, really? You went to school?
You went to medical school. You went to university.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, they have written probably quite a lot, so they probably have got cramp. So, you know, maybe.
No, I think it's just the fact of they just can't be bothered learning all the spellings of medication.
Yeah.
So they make it as close as they can.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a very, very good point, to be fair, because I can't be asked to learn the pronunciation of said medication. So
you can't even learn the pronunciation of pronunciation.
No, I did it right, didn't I?
No, it's a pronunciation.
Oh.
Thus proving our point.
Well, I pronunciate that you fuck off. All right.
All right, then you can do this episode on your own.
Oh, I don't really want you to.
Then I'll stay just for you.
Yay. So, in reality, it's been about 4 weeks since we last recorded, which seems insane to me because I've never had such a long break from this podcast. So I've still been stressed about the said podcast, but you know, so how have you been?
I've been fab. I've had 3 weeks away because I've had obviously my daughter over for the summer holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It's the longest stretch that we've ever done because normally we try and break it up so that she's either here, say, a week and then goes back to her mum's for a week and then back here for 2, or vice versa, just because I can't always guarantee that my ex can get all that time off on her end, or that my wife can get time off work on her end, on this end.
Yeah.
But we went for the 3 weeks this time, and it was a fantastic time until it came to saying goodbye to her. Obviously, that's never gotten easier. But it's also the fact of we've had downtime. Usually when she comes, it's like, right, we've got to do this today, that tomorrow, that the next day, and this the next day. And then before we know it, the whole holiday has been like pre-booked, you know, visiting grandparents, making sure we see in-laws and stuff like that. So we try and cram everything in. But because we've had her for 3 weeks, there's been times where we're just like, we're just going to have a day in our pajamas today.
Yeah.
And she loves that because she's got 2 younger sisters back at her mum's, and they are like, it's like the Tasmanian devil in child form, but 2 of them. So she gets no peace. But here, I just leave her be, let her have her room. She's got peace and quiet. But the house felt weirdly empty after I said goodbye to her at the ferry terminal. We came back and it was just like, the house has felt lived in for like the last 3 weeks. It's a bit of a shock when you come back and it's just like, I haven't got a load of washing up to do. I haven't got a load of washing to do. I haven't got to go hunting around for knives, forks, and plates.
You haven't got to hunt down different forms of macaroni cheese, because I remember that being the last visit you had to do.
Oh, thank God for the internet. We managed to find 2 new suppliers, which is it's the exact same recipe, but obviously different branding and stuff. So yeah, we've covered that now. We have sourced the mac and cheese. But no, it's been absolutely great having her. I've missed doing all the other stuff, but I wouldn't give it up. You know, I'm happy to give it up for spending time with her. So
Yeah, of course. It's not because it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard for your ex-wife as well, because it's
I
like
don't care.
no, I know, but I'm just saying from her point of view. But obviously from your point of view, she's there majority of the time. With you, she's not. So of course, it's lovely when you do get to see her. But how old is she again? Sorry, I can't remember.
It's okay. She's 13 in October.
Oh wow.
And what's made it work, I think the biggest thing for me was because I've not seen her since April.
Yeah.
I think it was April at least. Maybe even been New Year's. But because I only see her in person about 3 times a year.
Yeah.
She's 5'4". She's taken after me because I'm 6'3".
Oh,
And
okay.
she's like 5'4" and up here, and I'm just like, stop growing. Where is my little girl? I want my little girl back.
It's when the other areas start growing as well that you might be like, oh, I'm a bit uncomfortable with these areas. But then it's your daughter, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it's perfectly natural. But yeah, it's just that thing. It is just that thing of, it means I'm getting old, and I think that's the real problem.
But it's all right. You're still not as old as James Senior, so that's all right.
Hey, as long as I look as good as he does it at that age, I don't mind.
I mean, I'm only a year younger. I wish I looked as good as he does even. But there you go. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, I've been up to loads, but then also nothing. If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Nothing's happened that's out of the ordinary. It's just a lot of ordinary.
Yes.
Very busy with a lot of ordinary.
Yeah, the ordinary has been driving me nuts. I mean, the ordinary in my case is the long COVID stuff, and I did take a little dip in my health over the last sort of month or so, which has not been very nice because you finally feel like you're getting to the end of not the end of the tunnel, but because it's never going to be the end of the tunnel. But well, not never, I've got to be positive thinking, but the end of the tunnel is yeah, exactly. James Jr. just summed it up with 2 fingers. Yes, exactly. It's not the sign for victory. That's all I have to say. Yeah, so it's been kicking my ass just lately. I said the last month, but I think actually it's been the last 3 weeks, but still, nonetheless. I felt it every single day, and it's driving me nuts. But at the same time, I think also my brain it kind of gave into it. So instead of me fighting it, which I normally do, I think I kind of let it go a little bit, woe is me. So I'm trying to fight against it at the moment to see if I can get back to my form of normal at the moment. But other than that, I have got some good news. So should we do the good news first, or shall I get out of my system all of my Codswallop that I need to get out of my system? Which do you think we should do, James, first?
I think we should end on a high note. So leave the good news, and again, some of my Codswallop is nice and fun.
Okay.
So we'll do yours first.
Okay.
And then we'll round it off with the niceties and try and cheer ourselves back up.
And I've also got to top it off as well. I have got a story of the week, which has been supplied by one of our salty tadpoles. So we'll get to that at the very podcast. Yeah. So that's
interactive.
I know. Well, we do get interactive sometimes. It's just not all the time, which is what I'd love. But you can't ask for everything.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
I've got the poll up.
Well, that's what she said.
We are letting the tadpoles decide the next film.
Yes. What are so that people can go to our Facebook page, which is at Codswallop Pod. What are the films that they could be voted on?
The 2 choices that we have decided upon are True Grit, which is the 2009 version by the Coen brothers, and Tron Legacy. Now, the correct one was read first, and James's choice was second.
I think automatically it should be the first one anyway, because it seems to me that it is a lot of James's choices. So,
Well,
or is that not the truth?
No. You are correct in that the Tron Legacy was seniors, but I'm still scarred from the last choice in inverted commas that he made last time. So
yes,
I thought,
definitely.
Because when I picked it, I genuinely thought the Coen brothers aren't your traditional directors. When you look at their back catalogue, things like Fargo, and if I'm remembering correct, I think it's Fargo and No Country for Old Men. I think is one of theirs as well. I think.
Okay.
But either way, they're kind of films where I thought it'd be right up James's alley. And what does he come out with? Disney sequel tripe. Quick, name a film you want to do a Codswallop on. Oh, Tron Legacy. I don't think the actors who were in it watched it. But we did notice that in a weird kind of roundabout way, we'd both picked films with Jeff Bridges in. So if anyone asks, that's why. It's not because we just pulled random crap out of a hat. It's because we decided we both like Jeff Bridges now.
Right. Okay. So this week it's him. So okay, get it. A couple of weeks ago it was somebody else, wasn't it? So I can't remember who it was, but
Timothy Dalton.
Ah, yes. James's favorite.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton is a kind of unifying actor between our most recent ones, and I was like, we can do films without him in. Yeah. And then the one film we did do without him in was the last one.
James still has a twitchy face because of it. Well, you know what? But it also was a very fun episode, might I add, because the hatred that I felt through my ears as I was listening, I thought, this is wonderful. So in some ways, I actually love that episode, but I hate the fact that you personally had to go through watching that film. But,
I am exactly the same. It's it's fantastic for us as a podcast. It's awful for my mental health.
yes, and we do need to protect your mental health because at the moment it's me and you who are recording. So
mine's long gone.
Yeah, no, mine too. It's all right. This is all a mess.
Come on, let's bash the internet. Come on, let's bash the government. Come on.
Well, okay. So I'm going to get into my Codswallop. Right. Okay. So my Codswallop this week is, well, two, but they're related to the same thing. So as James just alluded to, before I start, I'm not going to do the politically correct thing or whatever. I'm going to have my own viewpoint about stuff. And obviously James can interact with it. And if he's got a different viewpoint, that's also fine. Before I say anything, I'm not overly bothered which party runs the country. It's who the man himself who is bringing stupid, ridiculous ideas into this country at the moment. Like, for example, he said that if people were walking down the street and they were swearing, whether maliciously or whether just in general, because sometimes it can be part of your conversation, he's going to charge, there's a fine of £100 per person and per time that you're caught, which to me seems more like a Russia type thing rather than a UK type thing. No offense to the Russian people.
No, I'm in complete agreement. One, it sounds like communism.
Yes.
And two, we'd be bankrupt if we recorded this. If we record any of our recordings with the window open, we're screwed.
Well, I mean, that's their fault for not listening with earbuds, but yeah.
No, I meant just anyone walking past while we're recording it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get fined out of them.
Well, that's why we never record with windows open, James.
Absolutely. Nothing to do with traffic levels. It's to do with the fact that we don't want to get fined out.
Yeah, fuck, shit, bollocks, arse. Fuck, shit, bollocks, arse.
We're going to go George Carlin on this.
Yeah. So, as you can probably tell, I've picked the lighter of the two that are annoying me because I'm giggling at the moment, but there will be one that brings out the gem Hulk in a minute. But
I don't blame you because both, I think, are, as you mentioned before, it's not the party. I would be annoyed at this law if either party had brought it forward. because it's not about the party who's bringing it in, it's about the law. And like, how is this going to be enforced?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how on earth are we supposed to? Right. So you're telling me that there's going to be a police officer who is every shift is going to be told, right, you're the swearing Bobby.
Yeah.
And it's not the fun way. You're going to have to go around and listen to everyone's comment. It's just, it can't be done. It can't be done. And as you say, the enforcement of like, it's a moral problem, not a legal one.
Yeah.
It's a morality issue. We need to be teaching people when it's appropriate, what kind of conversation. Yeah, if you're having it around other people, you should know that you shouldn't swear profusely.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in an environment where it's expected, like I always have this problem with, like, football matches.
Yeah.
I prefer football matches to be family friendly because I think it's about raising fans from a young age. You don't want to alienate families, but at the same time, if you're a group full of 25-year-old, mates who've been friends for years, the odd swear word's going to slip out. You do your best, try not swear in front of kids. Old people, that kind of thing. But it's just that thing of how are you going to prove it other than mass surveillance, which again, starting to smell like communism and not in a good way.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because it's also the fact that actually, while we're talking about police, I don't know, as an ex-policeman yourself, did you want to sort of discuss like the different types of things that are happening at the moment, or would you prefer to avoid that?
I've been trying to avoid it, to be honest, with the current, because obviously my dad lives in Southport. He actually lives off the main road where the incident took place. The cordon was at his junction when it all kicked off. He knows that community. He knows the mosque. He's driven members in the rain round to that mosque just as a just because he's a nice guy. So I try and avoid it, but it is a case of it's putting a band-aid over a much bigger issue. How are we going to enforce this? We either have to go massively totalitarian to the point of the police are monitoring all your conversations. We're going to have microphones installed everywhere. And it's just dystopian when you start to think about it. And it's the same with your other Codswallop.
Yes, which I will be getting onto.
I do feel like they kind of fall into the same parameters.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's about the government telling me what I can do.
Yeah, exactly. So that I can, if I just say what the other Codswallop is, because I didn't.
Please do.
Yeah. So this one is, I'm not really going to be laughing much about this one, I don't think. So basically the government now they're trying to basically eliminate smoking in this country, full stop. So you can't go outside and smoke. You can't go inside and smoke, which, to be fair, in 2007, they did the smoke outside thing, which is fine. It took a little bit of getting used to and stuff like that, but we adapted and we got there and we're fine about it. But now you're saying that we can't smoke on the streets, we can't smoke, is it going to be that we can't smoke in our cars? We can't do this, we can't do that.
They already introduced that when it came to work vehicles.
Well, yeah, taxis and things like that, isn't it?
Technically, if you're in your work van and you're having a cig, you can be pulled over and you can be fined because a work vehicle is classed as a public vehicle because different members of your team could be using it, and it's about affecting them. But it's it's where do you draw the line, and again, how do you enforce it?
No, because I think we're both quite passionate about this, so we might talk over each other by accident. But I was going to say the only way that they will, like if you go out into the smoking area of a pub kind of thing, the only thing that is going to happen there is that obviously the pub isn't going to have that option anymore, and they'll get fined if anyone gets caught there. So the pubs and clubs and whatnot, they're going to turn around and they're going to say, well, no, we can't have smoking, full stop. And so because it's going to be fear mongering, and that's the thing, fear mongering of the fact that they are going to get hit with a hefty fine if somebody decides to do something. that's opposite.
And again, it frustrates me because it's going to be a financial punishment, which again only affects one class of person, which is, you know, the working class and the lower classes. And it's a case of, okay, so £100 fine might be nothing to someone in middle management, but to a bloke who's working 60 plus hours, his rent's gone up, his food bill's gone up. He gets dobbed in by his neighbours for having a cig in the backyard. If this were to come to pass, it's that kind of effect of like it's going to affect the wrong people. The economy's going to die because pretty much, you know, it's the thing of all people want after working a lot, you know, working a full day is I want a pint and a smoke.
Yeah.
They grumbled about doing it outside, but pubs made it work. We got a lot more al fresco pints. You know, they put the tables outside. They at least tried to accommodate for it and say, yeah, it's a stupid law, but you can still smoke outside. You can still join your friends, because it's the social element. If you can't drink and you can't smoke, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
The smokers are going to just start drinking and smoking at home. The pubs are all going to close.
Yeah. I mean, as a smoker being, you know, for the most part, majority of my friends don't smoke, and some of which do come outside with me. You know, like we might sit outside and have our drinks outside if it's a nice day or whatever, or a nice evening. But, you know, there is also when you do go outside for your cigarette, you kind of know that you're also missing out on whatever could be the conversation. If you come back and everyone's laughing, you're like, oh, I missed a joke. But at the same time, you accept it, you know. Yeah, you've got an addiction, but
it's better than not having any conversation at all, which is what's going to end up happening. Because again, it's that thing of I'm not a habitual smoker. I more smoke cigars. So
okay,
I smoke on and off. I usually save it for a nice occasion, a birthday, a wedding, something like that. But I have, like, my friends smoke, and they've always had this rule of, we go out in the garden and we smoke, but I'm always free to join them.
Yeah,
and I'm
of
always
course.
free to stay in the house. But you can't have everyone around your house every weekend. That's why we go to pubs.
Yes, exactly. To try and get out and socialise.
But the social effect that this is going to have, I'm just hoping that it's never going to make it to the House Commons.
No.
Like it's one of those things of it's because the fear-mongering, as you said before, it's just going to be like all you're doing is pissing off your own voter base
and your entire country. Again, no matter who voted what, I literally don't care. But you know,
my political stance is libertarian, in which I don't care what you do with your life as long as it doesn't affect someone else's.
Yes. Yeah.
We need to stop sticking our nose in stuff.
Yes, exactly. And also, like, with politics, like, I never get involved with politics. I just stay, you know, my brain, I listen to stuff, but I stay clear of it. And that's why, you know, when I'm bringing it up on the podcast, it really pissed me off, apparently. But I started talking Italian for some reason. But also another fun fact that I found out about it as well. I know I'm talking about hands quite a lot. But,
angry pasta.
But also
not
another thing.
Antipasto.
Another fun fact that I found out was that the duty or the tax that's on cigarettes actually goes to the NHS. So if we don't have smokers, we technically don't have an NHS. Because all of the taxes
major
go
funding,
to the NHS.
Yeah.
So there. No, government.
Well, as you have titled our stream, the government totally sucks. And again, I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just another disappointment on the another disappointing rung on the ladder of politics.
Yeah,
they're all
exactly.
rotten and broken or missing.
Yeah, exactly. And
you finish your point.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say very quickly that, you know, it's probably that this isn't even going to come about. This isn't probably going to actually happen. Because I think with regards to the swearing one, I think he dropped it in the end. But the fact that he put it out there is making it something that is, you know, it makes us feel uncomfortable.
It's a very bold decision to do, because what you've got to remember is I viewed this last election as we just want the party out.
Mhm.
That's why the other party got in. And again, I know I'll probably get called out for using these terms, but it is because, again, I don't want this to become a political podcast. It's not about
it will
that.
never.
It's
It will
about
never be.
trivial
Yeah.
crap that pisses us off because we're British. That is
Yes.
why we do it.
Yes,
But
exactly.
It is that point of it's a very bold move to make on your first month in charge. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to take away what you see, what is as our American listeners would probably say is a God-given freedom.
Yes.
I should be allowed to smoke if I choose to because I'm an adult, and this actually leads into my wife's Codswallop.
Okay. Well, just before, I just wanted to say one last thing, and then I'll let you get onto your wife's
No, you go, Gem.
Yeah. Well, what the last thing that I was going to say to the government is, if my wonderful, sweet, caring mum, family, and the family's caring as well, and my lovely friends who insist on me giving up, and I still can't do it for them, I sure as shit ain't gonna do it for the fucking government. Yeah, fuck shit, bollocks ass. Okay, please continue. I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
Gemma's punk phase has begun.
Oh, I was a punk.
Fuck you, big government. Fuck you.
I was a punk way back when.
I never stopped being a punk.
No.
No,
what's your wife's Codswallop?
Well, it kind of leads into my wife has a big aversion to aspartame.
Okay.
Which is the official sweetener that goes in most beverages now.
Yeah, especially on like Diet Coke and things like that.
Yes. So normally she would be fine because she'd have the full sugar option. Mm-hmm. Since the sugar tax,
a lot
of companies have changed their recipes. So things like Lucozade, Iron Brew, all these, all these pops. It got to the point where we are finding out my wife can't drink at many of these establishments anymore because they've stopped offering the full sugar option. Because Coke's the only company that hasn't changed their recipe. So Coke's the only one that's still got full sugar, doesn't have the artificial sweetener in. So her Codswallop has been finding somewhere where she doesn't have to sneak a can of Coke in or a bottle just so that she can have a cold fizzy drink. Because it's like, I don't want tea. I don't want tea all the time.
No, exactly.
And so that's been her Codswallop is over these 3 weeks of going out and doing more meals out, because obviously my daughter was here. We've discovered fewer and fewer places where she can actually drink, and it's just it is getting silly to the point where she is smuggling in. Like, she'll ask for a glass of water, drink the water, and then refill the glass from a bottle in her handbag.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but it leads back into that whole thing of, I'm an adult, I'm allowed to make my choices. Give me the full sugar.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, it's dumb so that, kids aren't getting obese and stuff like that. But again, that's the responsibility of the parent to stop the child from drinking said sugary drink, and obviously, like in my case, it's useful to have sugar-free stuff because I'm diabetic. So even though I did eat a bag of M&Ms earlier, but that was also because I was annoyed and busy at work and I wanted a cigarette, but I wasn't allowed to go outside and have a cigarette. So no, it's none of that is an excuse. I just wanted it. But but no, it's just not fair at all, is it?
It's just not cricket.
No. And also, can I just point out that Pepsi is not the same as Coke?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will join you on that hill. Anyone who says that Coke is the same as Pepsi clearly doesn't have taste buds.
Exactly.
Probably likes Brussels sprouts and haggis.
Oh, well, I'm sorry though that your wife, it's got to a point now that, you used to, when you used to go out into the pubs and clubs, you used to take out a bottle of vodka. But now if it's got to the point where you have to take a can of Coke in with you, that's ridiculous.
Well, I think what annoys me even more as well is I genuinely I watch a YouTuber called Miles Powers. He's a chemist by trade. like genuine scientist. And I normally watch his stuff for things like, have you heard of MMS?
No.
It's mineral. It's a mineral solution. It's basically bleach,
Okay.
and it's sold as like snake oil. And
Oh, God.
and so he goes through all these kind of fads and stuff like that, and and shows that no, it's going to kill you. It's not healthy. He's had a crack at chiropractors, which I also enjoy because again, chiropractic it's again snake oil. It was invented by the man who invented yoga. It's all nonsense. There's no scientific benefit backing to it whatsoever. But he put out a video saying there's no, you're not allergic to aspartame. There's no such thing. And I got really upset because I was like, you need to meet my wife because my wife goes doolally. She said that she accidentally drunk like a glass of Diet Pepsi like a few years ago, and she was talking to the fridge.
Oh my goodness!
Like it genuinely sends a loopy, and then she has a migraine for like 2 days. So,
oh no,
yeah. So again, but again, when it was a case of before the sugar tax, it was an issue. Now, as you say, it's getting ridiculous to the point of like we're having to source specific stuff.
Yeah,
and it does kind of ruin your days out when you're just like, well, what's on the drink menu first? Nope. Next one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. Right.
Can we do some happy Codswallop now?
Excuse me. Pardon?
Can we do some happy Codswallop?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's move on to something a little bit happier now. Well, I was going to start by saying two things. One's kind of semi-Codswallop, but it's not Codswallop because we've done Codswallop, but it is funny. So, it's what Andy would call a twat tax. So, most people on social media will know I now have a brand new car, everybody. Woo! Okay, so when I say brand new, it's brand new to me. It's not a brand new car. It's a 15 plate, but nonetheless, it works. So that's all I really want. So yay! Yeah. It's red and it's pretty, and it's a Nissan Note. So even the tallest of people might be able to fit into my car. I know you just pulled your tongue out to it because your dad had a bad experience, but I seem to be having a good...
The engine exploded.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, it's one of those of modern Nissans, especially in the UK, are built in partnership with Renault.
Yeah.
So after a certain point, they're no longer Japanese Nissan, solely Nissan. They share parts. So unfortunately, my dad's model Nissan Note had plastic timing chains instead of metal ones.
Yeah.
It was the tensioners on the timing chain. So basically, they would just wear away after like 130,000 miles, and his timing chain broke free.
Oh,
and
that's not good.
He got a free inspection window in the side of his engine.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, not when he paid £800 to have the tensioners replaced a year ago. So a year before that happened.
Okay, so of course it wouldn't be under warranty.
No,
of course.
So
not.
we had to scrap his car, and he's now driving my other car, which is the 2005 Toyota. It's lovely. It's a Yaris. It's bright red, so you'll love it. Unfortunately it is a manual.
Yeah. See, I can't drive it then.
It has a 1.6 litre engine in it, and it's a 3-door.
Huh.
It was my granddad's. It's got over 100 brake horsepower, and he never drove it over 40 miles an hour.
Oh no!
But before he passed away, unfortunately, he lost his license due to his dementia, and he gave it to me. It had 38,000 miles on the clock.
Oh my goodness! It was a brand new car, practically.
2005.
Bloody
2005, hell. And he was the second owner from new.
Yeah.
And it had a sunroof.
Ooh.
Posh, full option.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
my dad's now in my spare biff about.
yeah. Well, at the moment, touch wood, my car is lovely. It's working fine. So we're gonna just ignore all of what James just said, and I'm gonna have a positive experience with this new car because I
It can't
deserve
get much
one.
worse than the last one.
So anyway, so obviously, yay! So
Yay!
yay! And even if it's a
Girlfriend!
yeah, girlfriend, even if it's a stopgap car, that still perfect. Mwah, is fine. Anyway, so I sold my car at webuyanycar.com. Webuyanycar.com. And I
We
got
try and rip you off.com.
actually they didn't. They did actually give me near enough the money that they were offering. So
Yeah, you did say that, so we were pleasantly surprised, all of us.
yeah.
When you told us.
Especially as when myself and Graham, my stepdad, he drove with me because obviously otherwise I wouldn't be able to get home. And I knew that the engine on my Vauxhall Corsa, like that the coolant kept running out and it was sort of like steaming and things like that, So we just topped it up and we made sure and prayed that we'd just get there. So we did. We got there and the guy didn't even check the engine. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Good call. Well, that's fine. Taking it,
Can we go? They've got the keys. We've signed the paperwork. Let's just leave before they say anything.
Well, that's pretty much what I said, yeah, and what I did. So yeah,
pushing Graham from behind, like, come on, move.
Oh no, he wanted to rush out as well, to be honest, because we were both in the same situation. So yeah, we knew we wanted to get away from that car as quickly as possible. And I did not.
Don't run, just walk fast.
Yeah, I did not shed a tear when I got rid of that one. So this is a little bit of the Codswallop part, but before I sold this car, I was, of course, searching for the V056 or something, the paperwork.
V5, the V5 logbook.
Yes. So I was searching, couldn't find it. I had to pay an extra £25 to get the document sent over to me again so that I could actually sell the car. So that was my twat tax start one. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I have to, for this car that I don't want, I have to pay 25 quid. My fault, though.
It's still got its claws in your purse.
Yes, it does. Yes. And then...
sell me? Oh, I don't think so.
Well, it got sold and it got kicked up the arse on the way out. Yeah. So then I contact my insurance people. Obviously, once I've picked up my new car, get the new car changed over. So now my new car is a lot younger. It's 3 years younger. Its engine size is 1.2, so which is fine by me because it's cheaper and I don't drive a lot at the moment anyway. So it's a lot younger in whatever, and the size of it's pretty much the same car. So same size, sorry, it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, so I call the insurance people and I'm like, right, okay, I just want to get this changed over. I'm already paying £76 for my little shitty black car. They then quoted me not only a £25 change fee. Yeah, so that was so that's 50 quid. All right, that my car's cost me. Then they bumped it up to they bumped it up to £99 a month. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Luckily,
nope.
I know. Luckily, it's only until September. So, by this time when people are listening, hopefully it will be sorted because I only had 2 months left on the contract. But then they sent me a renewal quote, which they said, oh, we can offer this really great price. And I opened it up and it was £101. And I was like, I've got other quotes for 45 quid. What are you doing? It's like 45 quid and it includes breakdown coverage and all that. It's like, that's disgusting. So I'm waiting until payday tomorrow and I'm going to get it all sorted tomorrow. But
no, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I had the exact same conversation with my dad when I put him on, because obviously we had to change his insurance from the Note to the Yaris.
Yeah.
Again, engine sizes weren't that far off. His Note was a 1.4. This is officially a 1.5, but it's almost 1.6. So it's not too far off. But he had the exact same problem. They were like, "Oh well, you're going to have to change it to it counts as it count. It's a change of policy, therefore there's going to be a fee." And again, I think they were like it going up from £50 a month to 150.
Bloody hell!
So I said, because I was helping. Obviously, I was on the phone with him.
Yeah,
It's just like the car's being turned into a cube as we speak. Like he doesn't have a choice.
yeah.
And thankfully, what they did was that because he pays monthly,
Mm-hmm.
they let him cancel that policy with immediate effect. So it was a case of you've paid the direct debit for this month, we'll just cancel it, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
And he just started a new policy. But it is a bit of an issue with insurers at the moment. There is no brand loyalty, nothing. I've had to change insurers every year to get a decent deal. And even in some cases, it's been a case of I've still ended up out of pocket.
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
It really is. And also, like, obviously, no disrespect to your dad, but obviously, he's obviously a lot older than both of us. So
He turned 80 this year.
blimey. So but there you go. Why are they penalising an 80-year-old man by charging him £150 a month when he should have however many years of no claims bonus, or if he's got that protected, or
last time we checked, he's technically got, I think, 50 years of no claims because he's never hit. All of his accidents have been someone running into him.
Yeah.
So it's their insurance that's taken the beating, not his. So he's never had a serious crash. He's never had to claim on his insurance, anything like that. He's had a long, clean history. And he keeps saying the same thing. And I said, it's ageism. You're getting older. They think you're more of a threat. He's more active than me. He's got a better social life than I have.
Yeah, my mum too.
And he's only just hitting that point now of I'm struggling. And even so, like he's gone out and got himself an electric scooter so that he can bomb around. And he's got walking sticks all over the house. And he's got him in the footwell. So if he starts up, he just goes and grabs his cane and just carries on. Yeah. But yeah, insurance is an absolute nightmare at the moment.
It's a rip-off.
I want the government to start giving it me back at the end of the year. Yeah. I haven't crashed. I want it back.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good call. That's never going to happen, but yeah, that would be a really good call.
When I eventually run for Parliament, you'll be able to smoke where you like, swear as much as you want, and you'll get your insurance back if you don't crash at the end of the year. Tadpole 2024. Well, no, 2020. What is it now? God, 2033. I think will be the next election. 2032. There you go. Tadpole 2032. But we will end on a fun note. We will end on a fun note with my last bit of Codswallop because it is my last bit, and it's completely irrelevant but completely hilarious. As you know, Gemma, because I informed you immediately, as is your standard procedure when entering Wales, you must inform a Welsh person. I went to Llandudno.
Yeah, or
with
as
my
they
daughter.
Like to say, Llandudno.
Or as we like to say, shush, you made up your language. So yes, I went to the land that vowels forgot. But it was a wonderful time. The beach was fantastic. It's great to see what is essentially a little seaside town doing so well.
I love that town. Yeah.
It was packed. I used to go a lot when I was a kid because one of the hotels there had an event every summer for disabled children, and my sister is blind.
Oh, okay.
So they would have a load of blind kids and their families come out for a week away in Wales. It wasn't much, but it was a chance for parents with children of similar issues to talk to each other and have something. But we all as kids got together and we just had a blast.
Yeah.
But we went back because my daughter specifically asked. She absolutely loves arcades.
Okay.
Because believe it or not, there are none in the Isle of Man.
Is there not?
There's a casino in Douglas, but there's no.
18 though, don't you?
That's it, because it's legal gambling, so it's all fruit machines.
Mm.
So again, with the incident that was in Southport, we couldn't go there. We only actually managed to get to Southport in the last week that she stayed with us. So we went to Wales, And my Codswallop is, what they've done now is they've moved over to a kind of American system, which is you put your money in, you play your game, and you get tokens. And they come reaming out the machine, and then you can exchange them for goods and services. Well, more goods,
And services, yeah.
you wouldn't want a spotty teenager touching you in any way at an arcade. But when I went to Llandudno, it was a little arcade. We're literally talking one floor, maybe at most 10 machines. But the prizes included a Funko Pop for 600 tickets. And between all of us, we ended up with about 1,500. And we only spent maybe a tenner each. Okay, so it's 30 quid altogether. But, so we ended up walking away with a Funko Pop that should have been at least 15 quid.
Yeah.
And about another 15 quid's worth of sweets and other stuff. And the guy gave us loads of stuff because he's like, no one's having these, so you can have these as well. So I was over the moon. Cut back to the last week. She wants to go one more time. And I said, well, we can't really go to Wales again because I nearly ran out of petrol on the way back, which was hilarious because I was like, oh, fuel lights come on. Sat-nav says there's a petrol station just off the motorway. Pulled off, all electric.
No.
Yep, no petrol. Because I was like, okay, so maybe they got maybe one or two pumps. Nothing. It's all
That's
electric
ridiculous.
in a Starbucks. So luckily, found a petrol station, made it home. So I said, well, Southport's calmed down now, so we'll do Southport. And Southport has Silcox, which is a huge, almost amusement empire. He's got 3 locations within Southport, and we hit all of them.
Yeah.
And again, we had a great time, but I noticed that the value of said prizes and the amount varied a ridiculous amount. Like back in Wales in this little shop, it was like 1 ticket got you a refresher chewable bar, which is like 15 centimeters.
Yeah.
If you wanted a little mixed bag of Haribo in Silcox, it was 15 tickets. So my final Codswallop is make ticket prices even again, because I am sick of this inconsistency.
Or just always go to Wales, because Wales, the Welsh are amazing.
No, again, beautiful place. I wouldn't want to live there though, because I can't afford to keep driving there all the time. But it was just that frustration of, you are a bigger company, you've got more locations. Why are you charging me more? I want more Funko Pops.
Greed.
As always.
Also, your Funko Pop should be in its box. Sorry.
No, none of my Funko Pops live in boxes, because boxes are silly. Because how else are you meant to make their heads bobble?
Because they're worth more money.
Oh, they're not worth anything.
They're not. No.
Plastic lumps of tat.
Apart from my Simon Pegg one, I agree. My Simon Pegg one is signed by Simon Pegg, so I think that
that's different.
Yeah,
I do have one that I kept in its box because I didn't want it for my collection. I got it I think it was in a charity shop, and it's Walter White in his chemical suit.
Oh wow!
They're going for like 100 quid on eBay, but
ridiculous.
I like having them out and about, and I get a lot of mine out of charity shops, so they're already loose. So if I do get them with a box, I keep them safe, put them off to one side. But
mine are all in this cupboard. Yeah, I was trying to work out how to do it because it's like my image is mirrored.
It's reversed, but it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So over here in this white cupboard that I'm pointing at that nobody can see because it's audio, that's where all of my Funko Pops live. So they're all on display.
My favorite one is I have a Lieutenant Commander Worf from Star Trek, and I had to buy him because his face was melting.
Why was his face melting?
Because he'd been put in the shop window and it was just at the right angle. And because he wasn't in a box, and his forehead ridges were getting smooth. And when I picked him out the window, he was red hot. And I could
goodness!
Push my finger into his forehead and make a dent. So I had to quickly pop it out and put him in some cold water. But I managed to save him.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you saved him.
So, yes, on that note, the government sucks. Wales is
Yeah.
fantastic. And
Yep.
I can't wait to be Prime Minister in 8 years.
Well, on that note, I think we should move on to the story that has been provided by Lucy Caton. I don't know why I said her name completely wrong there. Lucy Caton. So she's actually a good friend of mine, so she can berate me for saying her name wrong. And she will.
I can call her whatever she wants.
You can call her whatever you like, but preferably call her what she is. So she found this story, which is actually local to myself. It's in the county of Dorset, so obviously where I live. So police investigation launched into borough of poo signs. So basically there's a place in Dorset that's called Poole. So it's Poole. And what it looks like is that the signs have been vandalized, which I love it when somebody vandalizes things with a sense of humor, and have rubbed the L and the E off. So it's welcome to poo. I think that's all that we need of the story, to be honest. But also,
it's perfect because it's so childish.
Yeah.
That even though, yes, it is a criminal act of vandalism, it's funny because it's poo.
Exactly. It's also, I mentioned to her as well that when you go via train to Poole, so if you're like going from Weymouth to Poole, obviously it uses the first 3 letters on the ticket, doesn't it? So always if it goes, if I'm going again from Weymouth to Poole, it says way to poo. It always makes me laugh.
I managed that when I was 3. I'm good ticket.
Way.
I don't need advice.
Way to poo and then pooed away.
No, it's pronounced today.
But even down to the company that I work for, when we went to the American company, because we've been taken over by big franchise type thing. So anyway, they were trying to work out what they were sort of putting our email addresses in, and like some of them are grouped email addresses, so obviously they would have Poole as the main thing, and they were going, oh yes, so we chose to go POL. I went, oh, did you not think to go POO? And everyone laughed, of course. But I was like, yeah. So it's like, so it's POL and then blah 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 blah. But yeah.
Well, let's just hope you never get a Polish branch, otherwise it's going to be very confusing.
No, definitely. We'll have to become poo. Let's see if there's any more. So it seems like they have tampered with a lot of signs, but they've also, I noticed the other day when I was driving back from work, because I did go to the office the other day, that the YARP signs are back on the Sanford, signs and the town of Sanford. So that made me smile. So it's probably the same people.
It's that same level of humour. So
yeah, exactly. So the BCP Council, so that's the Bournemouth Council Pool, I guess, or Bournemouth City Pool. Anyway, doesn't really matter. The BCP Council was made aware of the vandalism and sent some of its staff around the town to find and clean up the mess. Whoa. The incidents have been since reported to the police. An investigation has been launched. However, nobody has been arrested. Dorset police spokesman said, we received a report at 6:43 p.m. on the 14th of October that a number of Borough of Poo signs, no, Paul is written, signs had been vandalized, with a letter being removed from the sign. So he's technically wrong because it was 2 letters. Inquiries are ongoing. No arrests have been blah, 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 blah. But also that person is probably, going back to our previous conversation, thinking, oh, so I'm the swearing police, am I?
No luck catching them vandals then.
No, exactly. Oh, so I love that story though, especially as it's local and it's poo. So it's everything that Lucy knows I love. So I don't love poo.
No, you heard it. You heard it here first, tadpoles.
All right, fine.
What a way to finish. Gemma loves poo.
Well, I think on that note, we have been talking enough Codswallop this week. Literal. I have been Gemma.
And I have been James.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.